Okay, now that we got the entire car body put together, it's time to get some paint on it and then some weathering washes to make it look like weathered wood. Now this car being built entirely of wood, we could have pre-stained the wood and saved ourselves a step here. And I would probably do that if I was going to make every car entirely out of wood. It does save some time. And then from this point on, we would have been detailing the car out with the final parts. But because I do a lot of the parts in different materials, like I do the use castings for different pieces on the car, I have to paint the car in the end so that all the pieces match and then go and weather on top of that. And I take no credit for the finish on this car. Actually, I don't take much credit for the design of this car. I've just altered the Sam Swanson Mans Creek car that he did in the Gazette and the ON30 Annual, and the finish is the same thing. It's Sam Swanson's idea on finishing the car. So what he recommends is painting it with a flow quill paint so that we can put washes on top of it without lifting the paint. And his mix is using flow quill earth and then antique white and then some old concrete. And basically what I do is I just get an empty paint bottle, and then I'll put 70% of the flow quill earth in there, and then about 20% of the concrete color in there, and then about 10% of the antique white just to lighten it a bit. And basically what you're looking for is you're just trying to get a color that's pretty close to a basswood color. It doesn't have to be exact. The washes are going to change the color. The point is that we're trying to get everything to be the same tone so that the washes weather it right. And if you do make more of these, you may find that you want to make some molds of different parts that are a little more complicated or take some time, and then use those. I actually I have made entire castings for all the side frames, and about 4 of my cars were complete resin cars with these parts being wood, the inside parts, to give that random look. And they worked really well. The reason why I went back to doing all wood cars is once I designed the shape weight jigs, I could make the framework faster in those jigs. Then I could mix the resin, pour the resin, throw away the bad ones, mix, fix, and just keep going over and over until I got all the parts. It was just too much time and trouble and mess to make the resin parts. The other advantage of the wood parts is they have a little bit more strength here in the car. The resin cars tend to be real soft, and they'll actually kind of sink in a little bit until you get there's like a tie rod that goes between here that I use spring steel for that helps keep the car pushed out. Actually, on the resin ones, it does nothing on the wood ones, but it's just there for looks. So if you wanted to in the beginning, you could have stained all this wood, but I'm going to go ahead and use the flow quill mix of the earth, antique white, and concrete, and I'm going to paint airbrush this whole car, and then let it sit for a couple days just to let it kind of completely dry out and air out. So I'll get this car painted, dry it, and in a few days we'll come back and I'll start showing you the washes. I know a lot of people have asked me how I finish them, so it's another reason why I'm painting these, is so that you can see how I finished my cars. And so we'll see you when it's all done.